A few years ago, I rush built a Turbo Civic, turned it up to 20 psi and blew the motor, and now it's time to rebuild it properly. In this series, I tear down my EG Civic, rebuild the B18C, repair all the 90s JDM rust, give it a new paint job, and put it all back together on my driveway at home. So in the last video we got a bit of progress done, ended up painting the engine bay, guards and bumpers, and this week we're going to get into painting the body, but first I'm going to drop the subframe in and drop it down on the ground so I can get to the roof a bit easier. So enough talking, let's get into the video. So I've gone ahead and chucked the brake lines in, so next stage is probably going to chuck the subframe in just so I can get it rolling again, so I can paint the roof a bit easier and just so it's a bit lower to paint. So I got the subframe all ready to go over here. And yeah, got that painted a little while ago in one of the other videos, so we'll get that chucked in now anyway. Gone ahead and got the subframe in, so that's looking good. So sitting up there all mint. So I'll go ahead and chuck in the front hubs and the camber arms and the shocks as well. It's just got stock shocks with some they're shortened, not stock shocks, but they're shortened shocks with some lowering springs, and then skunk 2 camber arms, and then these are just I think the DC2 hubs and DC2 brakes, because yeah, I think these are 266mm, something like that. Stock ones were 240, so I had to upgrade them, but yeah, I'll go ahead and chuck those in now anyway. Big one. So yeah, you got the subframe in, hubs, lower control arms, and the camber arms. So we can go ahead and chuck the wheels on now, so it can roll around and a bit easier to paint the roof. And so pretty stoked for that anyway. So finally have it rolling again. But first I'll give them a quick clean up.
just because they've been sitting in the corner for a while, so they're collecting a bit of dust. Probably going to upgrade to some nicer wheels in the near future, but just give them a wash and get all this dirt and crap off them anyway. So we're back at it this week, so gonna get into painting up the rest of the car. So got it all sanded down to 800 grit and got it all masked off and wax and grease removed. So gonna go ahead and lay down some of the coats now anyway. So yeah, we got the first coat on. It's looking pretty good. So a few bugs and stuff landing in it as I'm painting, but that's the joys of painting outside. So just let this dry for, you know, I don't know, 35-40 minutes or something, and then lay down the second one. But it's looking alright. Just outside paint jobs, so get a few little blemishes in it, but apart from that, it's looking good. So we'll let this dry off, and then we'll get into the second coat after. So yeah, we ended up getting the base coat on the car, so I've done 3 coats of white. Looks alright, but it's just come out a little bit orange peely. The gun started going a bit funny. Actually looks not too bad on camera, but in person it's pretty gross. But yeah, first time painting, so I think we'll let that one slide anyway. So this side's probably come out the best. It's not too bad. In the sunlight it looks a lot better, but in the shade you see all the, you know, all the shadows and stuff with the orange peel. Yeah, it's not too bad. The worst thing is all the bugs and just landing on it. Like you can see now, there's 3 or 4 flies just sitting there. Another 3 there. So it's, yeah, not the nicest. But yeah, so we'll let this dry off in the sun, and we'll probably get into painting these, painting up the bonnet. And then once those are all ready, we'll give it some clear coat. So probably won't be able to give it a clear coat today. I need to let it dry, so we'll let it dry overnight and yeah, get it some clear. And we got the fuel flap over here too. So get into laying down some clear, and I'll get back to you. So yeah, got the first coat on the bonnet, so it's looking pretty good, apart from a couple little bugs and stuff. But just let that dry off for 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'll chuck a second coat on it. Fuel cap's looking good too, so we'll go ahead and let this dry and get into the second coat. second coat all laid down on the bonnet and the fuel cap, so we'll let this dry and then we'll get into the third coat. It's looking good though. It's the next day and it's looking fine weather, so we'll get ready to lay some clear on the car today anyway, and got the bonnet and the bumpers and all that to do as well. So I haven't got too many sawhorses, so I have to do them in stages, but the boys have been over here cleaning up all the side skirts and stuff, so they're all looking good. Just got some like textured trim paint on that, so I think they're going to look alright. I was going to do them all white, but I think black looks alright. Might stand out a bit too much, but it's not a show car anyway, so we'll get into laying down some clear now anyway. I'll mix up the paint and get into that. had a bit of a disaster on the last coat. Started raining right as I finished the last coat, so it's got a couple of raindrops in the paint. You can sort of see it on camera, but hopefully that'll come out with a bit of buffing. So just push the car inside and it stopped raining. Well, it's only like a light air spit, so stopped raining. So I'll chuck on the last coats on these ones. Already actually laid down one coat on each one, and they're looking good, come out pretty nice. So just got to lay 2 more coats of clear coat on these bumpers, and then that's all the clear coat done. And we'll just have to wait for the clear coat to dry on the car, and I'll buff it out. But other than that, it's looking good. So I'll get to laying down the last coats of clear on these bumpers and guards, and we'll be done. So finally got the car back to one colour, so it's looking good. Got the bonnet and the bumpers all on and the lights and stuff, so yeah, pretty happy with how it's come out. Got a bit of orange peel in the paint, so just need to go over and wet sand it and buff it. You can see on the camera there it's pretty bad on this side. But yeah, apart from that, it's looking good. Pretty stoked to have it back in one colour. So ended up wet sanding and polishing the the bonnet. That's come out pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with that. So just got to do that with the rest of the car, and then it'll be ready to go. So also ended up chucking the front bumper and the lights in as well, and the other day chucked the engine in as well. So that'll be for another video, but apart from that, it's looking good. So like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.